Joel Embiid has dealt with a lot of injuries these last few seasons, but before that, he was the MVP, averaging 33 points per game with 10 rebounds. In today's video, I've put Embiid back into his MVP prime, and I'm going to do everything in my power to win him his first championship with the Philadelphia 76ers. And the trade deadline has passed, which means we're not allowed to pull off any trades for the remainder of this season, but what we can do is sign a player that's a free agent, and I'm going to do something crazy here. We're going to go ahead and bring Ben Simmons back to the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to offer him a 3-year contract, minimum is all he wants, and he goes on to happily accept the deal. One of the main reasons I signed Ben Simmons, I don't want Paul George being the power forward. I want to change his position to small forward. That suits him a lot better, and he does go up to an 85 overall. Then we're going to do the same here with Simmons, change his position from point guard all the way to power forward, and he goes up to an 82 in overall. Let's go. Before I show you all the rotation, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. That really does support the video and channel a ton, plus we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. Now for the remainder of this season, this is going to be the brand new starting lineup. We have ourselves Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Paul George, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. And then off the bench unit, we have Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre Jr., Dominic Barlow, and Andre Drummond. And I can't lie, I'm a really big fan of bringing Ben Simmons back onto this team, especially now that he's an 82 overall at the power forward position. Let's simulate the first few games with this team and see how we do. The first game will be up against the Atlanta Hawks, the same team that kind of ruined Ben Simmons' career that one game in the playoffs, but hopefully this time we do end up defeating them, which we do end up losing once again, 126 to 132. Maxey played amazing, Ben Simmons had 19, 8, and 10. Holy, he played amazing. Joel Embiid did foul out in 17 minutes, which is probably a big reason to why we lost. Let's also go ahead and simulate the next two games. We do have some back-to-back games, and it looks like we do not win ourselves a single game. We also lose to the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. And as of right now, we are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Nick Nurse. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where hopefully we go on to make the playoffs. We are right now the number 6 seed with 32 wins and 28 losses. Here we are at the end of this season, where Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Isaiah Collier 6th Man, Wemby also wins Defensive Player, Buzelis Most Improved, Jaylen Brown wins Clutch Player, Mark Coach of the Year, and the OKC Thunder win Executive. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections. We do get ourselves Tyrese Maxey on All-NBA second team, no Joel Embiid though, but that is alright. We do not get, or never mind, we do end up with VJ Edgecombe on all rookie first team. I'll take it. So we did end this season being the number 6 seed. Let's go. We just snuck into the playoffs with 44 wins and 38 losses. So we were not a bad team whatsoever, but we were not dominating the Eastern Conference either. Let's take a look at the player stats before we start simulating the playoffs. So the leading scorer on this team was not Joel Embiid, it was actually Tyrese Maxey, who was averaging 29 points per game. We did have Joel averaging 25, 9, and 4, as well as 1.5 blocks, shooting 51% from the field. 16 from PG, 15 from VJ, 13 from Grimes. How did Ben Simmons do? So Ben Simmons did pretty well here as well. He was doing a lot of playmaking, averaging 6 assists per game. Okay, so in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And of course, they have themselves James Harden, who was a previous player of the Philadelphia 76ers. They have Donovan Mitchell, Tyson, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. This is going to be their bench unit. They were the number 3 seed, so hopefully we're able to defeat this team. Game number 1 will go to us, and Embiid goes off here, dropping 35 points and 18 rebounds. 26 from Maxey and 24 from PG. Game number 2 will end up going to the Cavs. They defeat us here 150 to 135. Our defense here was horrible. Maxey played good, Embiid only had 19 points, but hopefully we can come back in game 3. The series is tied at 1-1 apiece. Let's see if we're able to win game 3 here, which we do. Embiid goes off here for 32 points and 19 rebounds. Maxey with 28 and 14 from Paul George. Game 4 will also go to us, and now we're up 3-1. Maxey dropped 49 points, 19-point double-double from Embiid. And are we going to gentlemen sweep the Cavaliers? Yes, we will. Embiid dropping 46 points here in Game 5, 19 rebounds and 5 assists. Paul George with 28 and Maxey dropping 27. Now we're in the second round of the playoffs, and it looks like we're going to be taking on the New York Knicks. Before that, let's take a look at Joel Embiid's stats. So he's so far here in the playoffs, he's averaging 30 points per game and 15 rebounds, as well as 5 assists, 1 steal, 1.5 block. Maxey is averaging 34 points per game, and this is what Ben Simmons is averaging. Now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the New York Knicks. They have themselves Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns. They were the number 2 seed, so this is definitely going to be a hard challenge. Game number 1 will go to us. Maxey drops 30 points, Embiid with a 29-point double-double. Game number 2 does end up going to the New York Knicks. They defeat us here by 26 points. Embiid played amazing, but sadly he did foul out in 23 minutes. The series is now tied at 1-1 apiece. Let's see if we're able to win Game 3, and we do end up winning Game 3 where Embiid goes off for 28 points, PG with 25, and Maxey with 21. Game number 4 will end up going to the New York Knicks. They defeat us here 132-123. Embiid played amazing, but sadly our defense was not all there. Maxey and Embiid both did go off here. Game number 5 will end up going to us 116-112. Embiid dropping 25, 19 from PG, and 16 from Edgecombe. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll have made it to the conference finals. We will have home court advantage on our side. We do start off here with the lead so far, but it is still a really close game. We do end up winning 112-97. Joel Embiid drops 35 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Maxey with 23 and 15 from VJ Edgecombe. And oh man, PG is shooting 34% from the 3-point line. I do wish we were able to trade him, but sadly we did end up passing the trade deadline, but this offseason I'll most definitely be moving on from him. It looks like in the Eastern Conference Finals we will be taking on the Boston Celtics, who have themselves Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Nikola Vucevic. Game number 1 will go to the Celtics. They defeat us here by 4 points. Maxey 38, 30 from PG, and 26 from Embiid. Game number 2 does end up going to us though. Embiid goes off here for 34 points and 23 from Maxey. Game 3 will also go to us. Let's go. Both Embiid and Maxey dropping 33 points and Edgecombe with 26. VJ Edgecombe has been playing amazing for us here in the playoffs. And we also go on to win Game 4, and yes, we can. Embiid just dropped 26 points, Maxey with a 24-point double-double, and 20 from PG. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll have made it to the NBA Finals. The Celtics do have home court advantage for this game, but we do start off with the lead. And it looks like we do end up going to overtime and getting the win. We scored 150 points, whereas the Celtics scored 145. We had Joel Embiid drop 50 points, Maxey with a 40-point double-double. We definitely need to get these two some more help this coming off season. VJ Edgecombe had himself 19 points, and just like that, we've made it to the NBA Finals, where we're either going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors or the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it will be the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler, Western Conference Finals MVP, Joel Embiid, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Let's take a look at the Warriors roster. So they still have themselves Stephen Curry, Brennan Podziemski, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. And this is their bench unit. And just to let you guys know, they were a play-in team. They were the number 8 seed, but now have made it all the way to the NBA Finals. Game number 1 will go to the Warriors. They defeat us here 117-111. Embiid played amazing, but sadly the rest of the team not so much. Oh my god, I just went ahead and simulated the round by accident, and the Warriors ended up going on to sweep us. Holy. So Jimmy Butler wins Finals MVP, averaging 33 points per game. I was not supposed to do that. I was trying to simulate games, but I accidentally clicked simulate round, and we just got swept by the play-in team. And even though they were a play-in team, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis clearly helped this team defeat us here. The big three of Steph, Jimmy, and Porzingis. But that just means this offseason we're going to have to pull off some big trades. PG is most definitely going to be traded here this coming offseason. Let's take a look at the player stats before we go into the offseason. So we played a total of 20 games, and in those 20 games, the leading scorer was Joel Embiid, averaging 31 points per game and 11 rebounds, as well as 5 assists. Then we had Maxey averaging 29, 15 from PG, and 14 from VJ Edgecombe. And this is why I'm going to be trading Paul George this offseason. As our third scoring option in the NBA Finals, he's averaging 12.5 points per game. Our third option definitely needs to score a lot more than that, and also the rest of the team did not do much either. A lot of single digit scorers here. So there will be some big trades this coming off season. We're starting this off season with a banger trade that we're pulling off here with the Timberwolves, where we send them Paul George, Ben Simmons, and the 20th overall pick in the 2026 draft. In return, we bring in Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels. Now for team player options, I am going to pick up the team option on Dominic Barlow, Adam Bonner, and Watford. Watford was actually really good for us. I played him in a short little stint off our bench unit, 17 minutes per game. He was shooting 39% from the 3-point line, plus he's a pretty good playmaker as well. Let's see if there's any qualifying offers. We do need to re-sign Quentin Grimes this offseason, so that will be a priority. It is now time for free agency. Looks like we do have enough money to sign Luke Dort, but the problem here with him is he's a hit or miss. There's times he plays absolutely amazing, shooting the ball well from the 3-point line, but there's also times he shoots about 30% from the 3. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and settle with Quentin Grimes, bring him back. We do have bird rights on him, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 4-year deal, which he most likely should accept. We do also need ourselves a backup center. Maybe someone like Quetta behind Embiid could be a good fit. I'm going to offer him a 2-year contract, paying him about $3 million annually. It looks like both Grimes and Quetta end up accepting. Cam Spencer is a player we can afford here. He is currently a free agent. It looks like the Memphis Grizzlies did waive him. He only wants about $2.4 million. I am going to go ahead and offer him that. He could possibly be the backup point guard. We are also in need of a backup wing, so let's see what we have here. Kenrich Williams or Julian Champagnie. It's going to be one or the other, and I think Kenrich Williams should be the safer option here. He can play make, rebound, and score. He's a perfect fit to have on our team, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal on a minimum. It looks like both of them do accept. When I said safer option, what I really meant to say is he's a better fit on our team. We don't have many playmakers coming off the bench, but Kenrich Williams can actually average 3.5 assists per game per 36 minutes, whereas Julian Champagnie is not much of a passer. I decided to throw Dominic Barlow and Johnny in trade finder, and Memphis Grizzlies are offering us Ty Jerome, and this is actually a really good underrated get for our team. In the NBA Finals, we needed another scoring option, and Ty Jerome could be that perfect 6-man on our team. Past season, he was averaging 16 points per game in 20 minutes on really good efficiency, so we're going to go ahead and pull off this trade with the Memphis Grizzlies. Here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Joel Embiid. Then off the bench, we have Quentin Grimes, Ty Jerome, Kenrich Williams, and Neemias Quetta. Now we are looking like some real championship contenders. Let's simulate the first week of this season with a new team and see how we do, and we do end up winning 2 out of the 3 games, scoring 143 points here against the Boston Celtics, where Embiid dropped 30, 24 from Maxey, 23 from VJ, and 23 from Ty Jerome. So far, Embiid is averaging 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Let's also simulate the second week and see how we do. We do end up winning only 1 game, but that is alright. Chemistry still being built. We do have ourselves a brand new starting lineup. VJ Edgecombe 22, Naz Reid 22, Maxey 19, and Embiid with 16. As of right now, we are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric under Nick Nurse. Now I'm going to start simulating here. If there's any trades to be made, I'll make sure to stop at the trade deadline and show you all. If not, I'll be seeing you all at the end of this season. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, Reed Shepherd 6-man, Wemby also wins Defensive Player, Zachary Risacher Most Improved, Irving Clutch Player, Chris Finch Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections here, and we do get ourselves Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey both on All-NBA third team. We also get Joel Embiid on All-Defensive first team. Let's go. We ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 58 games and losing only 24. Before I start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats and see how our team did. The leading scorer on our team was Tyrese Maxey, once again averaging 25 points per game, and then we had Joel Embiid, who was averaging nearly 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. I'm not sure why Joel Embiid does not shoot as many buckets as I would like for him to. His shot tendency is the highest, but he's just not shooting for some reason. Hopefully that changes here in the playoffs. 17 from VJ Edgecombe, 15 from Naz Reid, and 14 from Jaden McDaniels. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, the same team we defeated last time around. Hopefully we're able to do so once again. They don't have James Harden anymore, but they do have Dennis Schroeder, Donovan Mitchell, OG Anunoby, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. This is their bench unit. It looks like they traded for Jonathan Kuminga as well. Let's see how things go. Game number 1 will go to us. Maxey dropping 34, Embiid with a 19-point double-double. Game number 2 does end up going to the Cavs, sadly. We do end up losing 122 to 115. Game 3 will also go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we only scored 98 points here. Let's see how things go here for game number 4. We will jump into Simcast. The Cavs have home court advantage on their side. So far we do have the lead, but it's a back and forth battle. They're up by 4, and we do end up falling short here by 9 points. Maxey had 28 and 23 from Embiid, but sadly we still lose. I have changed up some of our player shot tendencies a little bit, so let's jump into Simcast. We do have home court advantage for this game. So far we do have the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 125 to 94, where Maxey dropped 33, 31 from McDaniels, and 16 from Embiid. So far Embiid has been struggling here in the playoffs. He's only shooting 38% from the field and 22% from the three-point line, but if he could flip things around, I do see us winning this series. For game 6, the Cavs will have home court advantage on their side, but can we go out there and win this game? So far we do have the lead. We are up by 2 points, 11 minutes remaining. Back and forth battle, really close game still. Hopefully we could run away with it here in the 4th quarter. Looks like we are trending towards that way, but it looks like we do end up winning, thankfully. I did have a feeling they were going to come back here in the 4th quarter, but thankfully that was not the case. 132 to 127, we win. McDaniels has been balling out here in the playoffs, scoring 33 points, Embiid with 28, and Maxey with 18. It's now time for game 7, win or go home situation, and thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side, so hopefully we get this win. And so far we do have the lead by quite a bit, and it looks like we will be winning 139 to 117, where Embiid went off for 36 points, 30 from McDaniels once again. I believe he had 30 a few times in this series, 21 from Maxey and 15 from Naz Reid. That is what I'm talking about. Looks like Embiid is starting to play better now. Before he was struggling the first few games, but now his efficiency has gone up. And in the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Orlando Magic. They have themselves Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and De'Aaron Sharp. This is going to be their bench unit. Let's see how things go here in the second round of the playoffs. Game number 1 will go to us. Embiid with 45 points and 12 rebounds. Maxey with 26 and 14 assists. Game number 2 will also go to us. VJ Edgecombe drops 31, 27 from Maxey, and 23 from Embiid. Game 3 will also go to us, so now we're up 3-0. Once again, McDaniels going off with 29 points, 25 from Embiid, and his efficiency is back to where it should be. Are we going to go on to sweep the Orlando Magic? And yes, we will. Embiid leads the way here in Game 4 with 29 points, Maxey with a 26-point double-double, and we've made it back to the conference finals, where we're taking on the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers have themselves Andrew Nembhard, Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, and for some reason they have a Via Zubac coming off of their bench unit for Robert Williams. Honestly, that only makes it a little bit more easier for us. So let's go ahead and start simulating here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game number 1 will go to us. Maxey and Embiid both with 31 apiece. 18 for McDaniels, who's been shooting the lights out here in the playoffs. Game number 2 will also go to us. Maxey with 36, Embiid with 32 points and 20 rebounds. Game 3 we also end up winning. Let's go. Joel Embiid drops 36 points, 19 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now it's time for game 4. All we gotta do is win one more game and then we'll make it to the NBA Finals. The Pacers do have home court advantage here, but so far we have the lead and it looks like this is not going to be a challenge whatsoever. We win 134-100 where Embiid went off, dropping 40 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 blocks. And just like that, we've made it to the NBA Finals, so the only team that gave us a hard time so far was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ever since then, we've been sweeping both of the teams. Now we're either going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Dallas Mavericks, and it will be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards wins Western Conference Finals MVP, and Joel Embiid, averaging 35 points per game, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks, wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And here in the finals, we will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert, as well as Ben Simmons coming off of their bench. It looks like the Paul George trade has helped out both teams. We got McDaniels, they got PG, and now both teams are here in the NBA Finals. Game number 1 will go to the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards dropping 32 points. Embiid played amazing, but sadly we do fall short. And so far Embiid is averaging 28 points per game here in the playoffs. Game number 2 will end up going to us though. Embiid going off here with 33 points. A 29-point double-double for Maxey. And Ty Jerome in 19 minutes, 22 points. This is exactly why I brought him in. Game number 3 will also go to us. Maxey goes off here for 30 and 20 from Nas. Embiid had 17 points and 17 rebounds. Game 4, they do end up winning, and now the series is tied. VJ Edgecombe and Embiid played amazing, but sadly our defense was not there. I have come up with the defensive coach game plan. It's time for Game 5. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece, and the Timberwolves will have home court advantage for Game 5. Let's see what happens. So far, it's a pretty close back and forth battle. We do have the lead by 5, 7 minutes remaining, and we do end up winning this game 137-122, outscoring them 37-25 in the 4th quarter. VJ Edgecombe went off for 28, and Embiid had himself a 26-point double-double. All we gotta do now is win one more game. We will have home court advantage for this next game. So far we do have the lead, but it is a close back and forth battle. 3 minutes remaining, 115-107. Let's see what happens. We are up by quite a bit. 124 remaining, and a lot of you have been telling me to jump in games, so that's what I'm going to be doing here today for the first time. It looks like we have Quentin Grimes at the free throw line. Let's see if he can make this and go ahead and make this a 13-point lead. And that is exactly what he does. 120-107. Looks like Julius Randle is coming in for whoever that dude there is. I'm not the best commentator, so bear with me here. This is, I believe, the first time I've ever jumped into a game. Quentin Grimes also hits his second free throw. Let's go. Anthony Edwards coming up with a ball guarded by Quentin Grimes. Let's see what he does here. It looks like he was trying to cross up Quentin Grimes, but Quentin Grimes gets a steal, and now he's running up with it, passing it to Nas Reed, to Maxey. Let's see if he can get it to Embiid, get some buckets going here. Embiid is asking for the ball, and there we go. It goes to Embiid, double team, wide open Maxey, and he misses the 3. 55 seconds remaining. DiVincenzo to Paul George with a 2-point layup. Okay. Maxey with the ball inbounded. Let's see what he does here. I do want him to get the ball to Embiid. I want to see Embiid do something here. He may be running a pick and roll. Never mind. He takes the ball there, but nothing from Embiid as of right now. He is running up. Was about to hit a fadeaway shot, but sadly he did not. Okay, so that was a pretty horrible shot there and miss. I would much rather it go to Embiid, but it is what it is. Not sure who we have there. Okay, that's Paul George to Ben Simmons. Simmons back to Paul George. Let's see what they do here. Pick and roll, pick and pop with Randle, and Randle misses a wide open 3. Maxey, 3 seconds remaining, and we go on to win the NBA championship, winning Joel Embiid his first ever ring with the Philadelphia 76ers. That is what I'm talking about. The Philadelphia 76ers are your NBA champions, and there goes Rudy Gobert and whoever that dude is crying his way out of the arena. But we've done it. We've won a championship, won Joel Embiid his first ever ring. Hopefully he goes on to win Finals MVP. That would be amazing. And there's Joel Embiid getting handed the NBA championship trophy. That is what I'm talking about. After a long career of no championships, a lot of injuries, thankfully he goes on to win his first ever championship. Let's go. That would be an amazing sighting to see. Embiid with a championship, and he also goes on to win Finals MVP. That is the perfect way to end out this video. Let's go. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.